myself retired and I've taken up writing as my third career option and got my recent book published, and which is all focused on sustainability, and 3 more are coming. When you call with respect to this particular topic, electrifying fleets, the world has started speaking about urban mobility, right? Whether you want to electrify a fleet or whether you want to the electrifying fleets is a smaller subset to the urban mobility, and within urban mobility, between urban and mobility, they have a word in between, in brackets, urban air mobility, right? So it comes, everything comes as one, and they take a more system design approach, right? System thinking approach to the whole. I think those 5.5 lakh people who use the metros are much more climate conscious than each of us taking their cars and going, right, getting ourselves packed like that, right? Whether you transport people or whether you transport cargo, finally it is only supply chain, right? It is people supply chain or cargo supply chain, right? TSRTC bringing in 3,000 vehicles or somebody else bringing in 200 vehicles, you are just dumping vehicles in the road. It is not going to reduce your traffic jams, right? So urban mobility has a link to whether it will decongest your roads, right? Like the way the journalist said, the key is in public transportation, which he will do. But what is the backbone for all this, right? The backbone for all this is a personalized, demand response driven transport management, in that big words, right? So the point is, we are going to have an AI city here, right? Some AI hub is also coming. I don't think anywhere else in the world we have something like this that is coming. Possibly US, definitely there's something there. If some people can take a project like a mobility cloud, right? Government-backed mobility cloud, which gives personalized. Srikanth wants to go from place A to B. I get into that mobility, not that Google Maps. I get into this one and then say, go from here to there in X, go from there to there in Y, and from my endpoint, last mile is by Z. In this entire supply chain that I am going to have, which is going to back my connectivity, is going to be part diesel, part EV, part, because diesel is never ever going to go away. We were discussing that earlier. I believe 3,000 vehicles are coming into the roads every day, and 5%, 10% is the electric vehicles in the market coming onto the road. 300 or slightly less than that, 250, 175. That is we are nowhere actually, if you see, right? We see a auto rickshaw here, we see a two-wheeler, we see cars, we see buses. He is talking about it. Drone deliveries can also happen. Moment you have drone deliveries happening, this room won't be sufficient actually. You will need 3-4 rooms for people, will be much more, it's a bigger. But I'm telling you, there are only 2 worthwhile academies who does drone trainings for us. Other day I was going with my friend and said, this whole Musi river that is there, right? Social welfare department can actually help. If you Musi river, pest control of Musi river, if you have to do, how will you do, right? You can use drones to have your spraying done and practically employ those transgenders in the streets who keep begging for, use them as drone pilots, and then you will have some good people coming in and self-esteem for them. Los Angeles, Helsinki, Finland, right? You can, we'll talk here only. We buy a vehicle, then we stay in our homes, we buy an inverter for our homes, we buy a battery for our homes, right? Do you know you can use your car battery as your inverter battery? Right? You just so what happens is, you are giving power to the grid using your electric vehicle. I was talking about EV supplying power to the grid itself, at least gives a power to your homes in case there is no power, right? One switch, one turn of a battery, turn of a switch, EV vehicle from taker of power can start giving power, right? So while you invest, you can just invest in the inverter and don't invest in the battery. By that you are doing electricity, what do you call that, hazardous waste pollution reduction, actually, by reducing that much of electricity thing going down the drain. What I mean to say is some more consciousness needed and a holistic planning required, rather than saying I will, because electric vehicle for all said and done is a mobile battery, nothing else. It's a mobile battery. So plan is, while she gives all the subsidies that are needed and he brings in all the vehicles that are needed, citizen consciousness is needed, and within that I think the AI city that is going to come, can some good entrepreneur can take this as a program and do a mobility cloud for Telangana, or divide Telangana into four or five zones, and each zone speaks to the other, and have a personalized, demand realized mobility cloud, which optimizes. One example, I'll take Premier Travels. He was my vendor when I was in Cognizant, right? I had about 10 odd vendors with them, when 3,000 vehicles we used to operate. When you get into a business park, there are, say, Raheja Mindspace, 23 buildings, approximately 100 companies working there. I've been telling the builder during our, why doesn't one operator operate all the vehicles from the business park side? 100 companies operate 100. All the companies provide employee transportation to their vehicles, to their employees, right? Pick up from home, bring them, drop back. Look at the mess. At least 1 lakh vehicles come into Maheja Mindspace and goes back. Police commissioner has been saying, do time management and reduce your employees on the road and all those sort of things, which never happens, right? If employee transportation is centrally managed for the whole park, right? There are companies which say we will put only one person in a vehicle and send. There are companies like Cognizant which says 4-man vehicle mein 6 people ko laga ke bhejo. And if you are able to optimize that, there will be a reduction of about 15%. And in that space, vehicles might reduce by 15% if you are able to increase EVs there. It will be a good reduction in the overall. So these small steps, it is. And when you do business park level management, mobility cloud comes in there. There are good service providers who can bring those sort of things in. These are all larger ideas, where future focused ideas which I wanted to bring through, and then see how we can make Hyderabad, which was a city of pearls, truly a pearly place to live in here. Thank you.